Yo, today we're gonna be taking a look at how I go about scouting when I'm looking to build a new trail. We are taking a look at my workflow, what tools I use, and I'm gonna be giving some of my favorite tips at the very end. Let's go! Kicking things off with tools, I use Strava on all of my scouting hikes and rides. I use the data I gathered from the tracking to figure out which areas I have not yet scouted, what the mountain looks like in perspective of the elevation, and I gain a clear idea of the distance. Guessing the distance of a trail is just going to be a bad idea. Just track it. To get an overall view of things, I use Google Earth. This is not an accurate map, but really awesome for visualizing potential. Plus, you can export a KML file from your Google Earth project, convert it to a GPX file, and create a personal ride plan in Trailforks. This helps you gain a better idea of the elevation and the roundabout distance.
Look at how sweet this looks. Obviously, needs some repairs. The trail isn't going down here, but this just looks so cool.
I have a digital clinometer, but I don't really use it. I guess whatever you prefer goes. You can also just use a half-empty water bottle, which doesn't have measurements, but just helps you visualize the slope grade.
So apparently, when you put one foot in front of the other, eventually you end up in a different place. What the heck are you doing? Walking all the way here, walking all the way there, what the heck do you think you're doing?
Tape, flags, and spray paint.
Bad color choice.
Pick your poison and use it. Flags are great for when the ground is open and it helps you visualize the exact flow. Tape is my preferred method. Tape is more about marking the general direction. Spray paint is also a great option for marking on rocks. Just remember to always retrieve your tape once you're done.
That was not what I was expecting.
If you feel the need, use photos with notes. You can even draw lines onto the photos. Okay, I got all this stuff. Now, I walk. I walk, and I walk some more, scouting every possibility.
So option number 1 is this big roll. Option number 2 is going through here, but then they don't go down there, they just go straight the whole time. Then option number 3 is around there. Whoop.
Even on this particular scouting hike, we found some really amazing lines and footpaths, but I never want to assume just because it's the best option now that it is the best option long term. I keep finding lines that are even better and replace the old lines. I assess all my options and take various factors into mind. I'm not exactly an expert at this, but I'm trying to be more intentional about how we go about building trails. I try to remember all the different options I have. In my case, we often reclaim footpaths and just reroute sections to make the trail longer, more enjoyable, and more sustainable. So I'm often trying to bear in mind which footpaths I've discovered and how I can link them up together. Okay, here are my tips and things I pay attention to when I go scouting. Number 1. Water flow. I try to constantly pay attention to what the water is doing. Just looking at the ground, the vegetation, and the soil can usually give you a pretty good idea of what the water flow is doing. Little clues like these are huge.
Spots like this are clear clues as to what the water is doing. It's pretty obvious to anyone. It's running down there, and down there. And Jamie's losing his mind.
For my next tip, I generally try to look ahead just like a rider would. Remember, when you're hiking, you're going slow, but they definitely will be going fast. Speaking of which, get your inner child out and run the trail or line. Next up, I try to pay attention to the dirt. The stuff you're walking on will soon be the stuff you will be riding on. I'm not an expert on soil, but I can remark facts like how well it deals with heavy rain. Timing your scouting hikes to happen right after a big rainstorm is a great way to get a better idea of the water flow. If you're from the area, you will likely already have a really good idea of how different soil types handle anyway. Next up, I try to pay attention to the hillside. Stuff like this means the rocks stop the water from sheeting and it focuses into a million small streams, leading to erosion. If you can't get the water to sheet before it runs over your trail, it will damage it. For weekly trail building videos, subscribe and drop a like if you liked this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my process for scouting, even though it's far from perfect. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next week.